So this is actually my third live now. My third time being here daily. I'm going to just stand by for a few minutes and let you join in with me. Now, for those that are listening on the replay, I give a daily reading, the energy for the collective, and then as the time goes on, people join and ask questions. So those that are just now coming in, feel free to ask a question. Namaste. I'm ready to get started now. So first I just want to thank anyone that's here, anyone that listens to this replay, and I'll get started introducing myself. I'm Temple, and thank you for being on our channel, Shub Temple. So my intention in this live session, and the intention in a broader perspective, is that I want to engage people and develop your power. Every single person has the power of intuition, and tarot is a really wonderful way for you to learn to trust yourself. So it's fine. You can ask me questions, you can ask yes, no, but I'm going to involve you in the process as we're examining, as we're looking through the cards, as we're answering the questions, because we are coming into a time which is, I drew this card for today's energy, the Six of Swords, if you want to take a look at that. Now, if we just look at this card in the broadest perspective as a collective, you know, you look, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm American, but I've been outside the US now since 2021. So in the last 3 years, we've had so many things happening, and the number one thing that's affecting us all is this pandemic has really shifted everyone. I don't care where you live in the world, just the pandemic, COVID, it's touched everyone. It's affected everyone. So in this card represents transition. And so from the broadest perspective, we are coming into a time, and you can see it, especially you know, not just in the Western countries, but here in the Eastern countries, you see there's a divide, a political divide. There's beliefs. It's becoming more and more pronounced, especially in the United States at the time I left. I mean, people are really having extreme points of view, extreme separation, extreme ideas and beliefs about life and how things should run, how to live your life, and justice, truth. All of these things are things that are really in the forefront where we're going to go with the environment is an issue. So in this time, it's really important to be mindful and to go inward. And we've already had a lot of time. The lockdown for us gave us a lot of time when we were inside, when things were more quiet. There was no rushed pace, at least not in the US where I was. I don't know what India was like at that time, but I can't imagine it would have been too frantic here at that time. But we want to keep that same kind of feel, that inner connection and that inner guidance. So as we're transitioning, we're coming into a new age worldwide. Collectively, we're deciding things for the planet, how things are going to proceed. We are, many of us are ushering in a new time. We're here planting seeds. We're here connecting with people that are really doing the work on themselves, the inner work, the healing. So this is the time to really go deep in yourself and figure out what is your role here on this planet, here and now. Like, don't get so caught up in what's happening outside of you. Don't get so fired up with what's happening, you know, wherever you are, if you're in India, if you're in the US, wherever you are in the world, don't get so caught up about what the politicians are doing or what these huge groups of people are doing. Of course, keep yourself educated, know what's happening, but instead of feeling overwhelmed by it, ask yourself, sit with yourself, and decide what is going to be my role in this. And I see someone has joined us, and I'm doing today's energy reading, this Six of Swords, if you want to take a look at that. And right now I'm talking about how that affects us collectively, individually. I would love if you would put in the chat where you're joining us from, and also if you have a question. Now, so we have to be very clear about what is happening, what's going on. Look at the broader picture. Don't just look at the superficial aspects of what's being reported, but really dig deep in what you see happening and ask yourself, is this true? And what is true for me? How do I show up in this situation? Also, it's really important that you could be called to move. Like, you see what's happening here. So this is a time of, it could be extreme transformation, and I don't want to scare anyone here, but this could mean not just, as a collective whole, but what does this mean for you? For me, I had a big shift. I left in 2021, like this. It could be something like that. So if you are being called to do something radically different in your life, something that makes you feel uncomfortable, something that you're on board with and you agree and you're willing, this is going to be a time where you have to let go of any baggage. Think about whatever it is that you're afraid of. Like, really come to terms with it and begin to let go of some of your fears. This is the other reason that I really feel called to bring you in to more of how to use this tarot to develop your own intuitive ability, your own ability to go within to your own guidance. It's really important that us, especially us that are out and we're planting seeds and we're preparing people, like in Shubha, in my work, if you don't know us personally, but we teach guided meditation. We help people with traumas, things like that. We help people that are maybe going from what you would say, I don't want to say normal, but like a traditional mainstream type work, and they're being called into doing something like radically different. We help people that are already some kind of healer, but we help them be able to manage their energy a little bit better. So this is totally what this card is about. It's like knowing where we are as a collective, that we're transitioning into a new age, and then beginning to discover, beginning to peel back the layers for yourself, and being able to ask the questions, what does this mean for me individually in this time? Where do I fit in? What is my work? How can I be of service? And when I say of service, you can be of service in any type of work. So being a quote-unquote spiritual person, there's no hierarchy of what's better and what's worse. It's just where you fit into the greater good. How can you contribute with your own unique gifts, skills, and talents? This is the question that you need to be asking in this time to keep yourself grounded. To keep yourself grounded, you need to be able to put a little bit of space in between what you see outside. Now, the other thing is, depending on where you live, like, you know, I'm American, but I've been living in India now for the last couple of years. So the other thing is, you know, in India, there's a tremendous respect for family and working for the group. The thing is, you want to contribute to the greater good of your family, but you have to do it in a way that's in alignment with who you are. So you want to respect your parents. You want to respect your brothers and sisters. You want to give everyone their due respect, but at the same time, you cannot sacrifice your own calling. You have to make that work. You have to find a way to keep yourself in harmony, and that it takes a little work. Now, I see some of you are joining here. I would love if you could let me know where you're joining me from. And please ask a question. I would love to hear your thoughts, hear your questions. I would love to know if this is resonating. I'll go back and speak a little bit more on this. This is today's energy reading for the collective. The Six of Swords. So to go back and to recap what I was saying until hopefully someone has something to say here. But so we're in a very powerful time of transition. This card, the Six of Swords, is all about transition. And like I said, no matter where you are in the world, there's big divisions in the political realms, society as a whole. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of divide of what is right and wrong, and what is truth, what is true. People are fighting about these kind of things. So as we're transitioning, many of us are totally aware of what's happening. It's a time that you go within yourself. And that's what we're using the tarot for. I am guiding you inward to yourself to help you tap into your own intuition, to help you ask yourself the questions. Like this time that we're going into, it's not a time to be afraid. It's just a time to be aware of what is happening. And this is the time to really get clear on what are your strengths, what are your gifts, what are your talents, your natural abilities. These are clues to give you an idea of what you need to develop in service to not only yourself, but to the collective, to your family, to society. And your idea could be totally different from what their idea is. You know, you may be called in a certain direction, and your parents and your friends, they could be totally not on board. So the thing is like we are in a time where you have to learn to be strong in yourself, trust in your own guidance. Trust in your own guidance. And if you don't already have some kind of meditative practice, and when I say meditative practice, I mean that could look in many different ways. You could have a meditative practice where you just sit in nature. You could go for a walk by the river and and really explore these kind of things. We all do it differently. It's not how you're doing it, but how it assists you to connect with yourself, to connect with your inner knowing. So that's where we are in this card, the Six of Swords. Also, it's a time, as we're talking about transition, what is holding you back? Let's say you know what your gift is, you know what your talent is. Hi, Rachel. It's so good to have you here. If you have any questions, please feel free to send it here. But it's a good time for you to know. Let's say you agree. Maybe you're one of the fortunate ones. Maybe they're telling you, maybe they're saying, Rachel, you have this gift, you have this ability, you should develop that, and you agree. It's something that yes, I do see that, and I would love to do that. But what is the barrier? What do you feel? Is there an obstacle that's keeping you from pursuing that? Because when people are giving you these little nuggets, that's the universe speaking to you, and you know it by how you're feeling within yourself. So if someone is sharing with you, oh, you're so awesome at this, you would be fantastic, and your whole being just lights up, and yeah, I could totally do it. But that's the thing, when you start thinking, you get a lot in your head. Maybe your heart's telling you one thing, but your head is telling you something else. Well, I would love to do it, but... So that's the place that I want to get you thinking about, what is holding you back? What is holding you back from taking action? What is the baggage? Could be emotional baggage that you're holding on to. What do you need to let go of? You see, she's moving, but she's divided. She's taking the action, but there's still, see all these swords here behind her. These are the things that she's carrying. How can you lighten your load? How can you make things easier for you to transition? So, let's see. I'm going to give a little time for someone to ask me a question. And I'm going to pull a card here, and we're going to explore this in more depth. Okay. So this is going to give us a little bit more clarity. I just pulled the Knight of Pentacles. If you want to look at this for just a minute, see how this resonates with you. So, Pentacles, they have to do with the manifest world, with money, the earth, what you are physically creating. Oh, thank you, Rachel. So feel free, I'm going more and more in depth, Rachel, if you have any other question, feel free to send me something in the chat box. So on top of the Six of Swords, we have this Knight of Pentacles. So maybe you are personally in the place where you are recognizing that mission. Like we think of the knight, at least I do, of like setting out, beginning a journey. So maybe you are someone who's already starting to take maybe just baby steps. And maybe you are seeing some success. Maybe you are seeing some success. But sometimes in the beginning, we see some success, but we also feel overwhelmed because things are so new. Maybe you're having some things unexpected surprises. And when I say unexpected surprises, they could appear as some kind of obstacle, something that you didn't know about, something that you did not plan for is showing up. But if you can keep yourself in that energy, take that time to really tune into yourself and ask whatever it is that's showing up that looks like it's weighing you down. What is the way through this? What do I need to be aware of in this? What is this situation teaching me? And if you can just, when we're stepping out in faith, the reason it's called faith is because we can't see everything clearly. We don't see all of the steps. We can't, it doesn't look like a clear path. It's like we have this burning desire, we have this calling, we have something that we feel passionate about, that we need to take the next step. Sometimes it's completely against what our logic and reason would say, but there's just something in you that knows, okay, I have to do this. But then you take that next step, in this transition, and you feel like, okay, I'm doing everything right, but I'm having all of these unintended things that are happening. I feel like I'm working hard. The other thing is you want to, as you're taking this action, you want to continue on with your consistent steps. So in this time, no matter what you are seeing on the outside of yourself, stay tuned into yourself. Stay tuned into your own inner guidance. Find those people that are uplifting and encouraging, that are going to, help you keep your energy good, because you're embarking on something new, on something different. So it's important that whatever you put your energy in, the people that you surround yourself, you want to feed your spirit, you want to feed your mind, with all of these wonderful things that are going to energize you and keep you moving forward in a consistent, methodological, I think that's a word, in a very methodical, consistent, steady way. You need to continue to just take that next step, and be aware of, okay, what is it I see in my mind? What is it that I'm afraid of? What do I need? What is the barrier that I need to, and it's usually in your own thinking. A lot of times you come up with these fears, but when you really allow yourself to sit with it, you see that it's just an illusion, or a lot of times it just has a simple solution. So I see Rachel's there. Rachel, let me know if you have any question. If not, I'll pull another card here in another minute and see if we can come into an even greater depth. So, just as a recap, the first card that I pulled was the Six of Swords that had to do with transition. So I talked about how collectively, no matter where you are in the world. By the way, Rachel, where are you joining? Where are you joining us from? Put it in the chat box if you're still with us. Oh, Rachel from Singapore. Okay, I got you. I didn't know your last name. Okay. I don't know if that actually is your last name. I just know you as Rachel. So Rachel, do you have any question, clarification? So recap, we're going through a transition as a whole. And then we just talked about the Knight of Pentacles, which kind of gives even more clarification. Now to back it up a little bit, the Six of Swords, so it's asking you to be very, very aware of transitioning. And I think you and I have actually had conversations on this in the past about the world is transitioning. Like, you know, Shobha and I in our work, we're like planting seeds just to wherever people are, to just, because sometimes you feel crazy. Like sometimes your experience can be something totally different than what, you know, your family, society. I don't know how long you've been with us, but I was just talking about that. Depending on where you're coming from, you could be transitioning to something in your life that is so different, and either you're getting a lot of resistance from the environment that you're in. It could be your friends, could be your family. You could feel totally different than society. So this is asking you to get really clear and know what your own personal mission. Now, a lot of us don't know exactly what it is, but the big clue is getting those intuitive impulses. Like, what is it you're naturally good at? What are the things that other people tell you that you're really, really good at that actually resonate with you on the inside? Like, these are clues. And I know you already know a lot of this, Rachel. I'm just saying this for somebody else that's here, that's listening, and they might want to explore this. But look at these things, develop these things. Even if you don't have the clear picture of where you're going, just take those steps, take those baby steps, and as you do it, the more comes to you, the more clarity comes to you. Maybe you know clearly exactly what you want to do, what you are creating, but there's a lot of baggage. Maybe you're holding a lot of baggage. You're holding a lot of limiting beliefs. You're holding on to some traumas from the past. Like, it's a time that we need to get really clear. And like I said also, is that using the tarot, you know, a lot of times we help people make predictions and we give yes and no answers and things like that, and that's all fine. But the way that I use this is to really bring people into the conversation and to be much more aware of what they're creating. And the cards are a great way of doing that, because they help us like really tune our energy and to really ask the right questions of where we're going, and not just the yes and no answer, but why is this happening? Like, what am I learning? You know, yesterday I had somebody ask me about their love interest, and they got blocked from their love interest, and they wanted to know, like, yes or no, like, what are they, you know, are we going to get back together? But it's like, it's digging even beyond that. Instead of just the yes and no, it's like, do you really want to get with this person? And if so, what is it that you want to create with the person? Because it's not just a matter of them being in your life. It's like, what is that union going to create beyond? And so then the second card that we pulled, obviously, and I think you were here on board with that, was the Knight of Pentacles. And so that is if you're already well on board, and you know what you're doing. You've already started taking steps. That you don't let these the trials get you, that you keep your balance, that you keep the connection, that you keep putting in that consistent effort, and take that one step, that one biggest step that you can take. Don't get lost in the to-do list and all of the things that we sometimes tell ourselves, oh my God, I got so much stuff. No, like really come back to your center and get a clarity on what is the one big thing that I can do, the one thing that I can do that's really gonna move this forward. Okay. So now we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of the Wands. Seven of Wands. Okay. So this is a really interesting lineup today. So we're coming off the Knight of Pentacles into the Seven of Wands. So maybe further down the line, maybe you've been doing this for a while, and what's happening is you've achieved some real success. And now what's happening is you have people around you, they see what you have. And I like to say it like this. You know that you're achieving some success in your life when you start getting haters. Now, some of us, like on social media and things like that, like, you know, I don't need to tell you, people just throw out like these negative things, or just hate comments or whatever. And it seems like wherever you go, they're showing up and they're doing something, and for no other reason you can think that they just, I don't know, it's like, why would they put their energy there? So in this card, you want to be aware that more than likely these people are testing you. Maybe they want something that you have, or maybe they're seeing you as too good to be true. Maybe what's happening too is in this situation with this card is you are, because of your success, maybe things are expanding and growing at such a fast rate, you don't know what the next step is. Maybe you need to learn how to delegate some things to people. So this is also another possibility. So this is a question of really keeping in balance. You know, if you're just starting out, if you're the person in the transition, if you're the person just starting out and it's more difficult, or maybe you are coming into a time you have achieved some real success and you're coming into this transition of, okay, this is hard. I've got like these haters that are coming out of the woodwork. I think I told Rachel, and I don't know if you're still listening here, Rachel, but there's this one lady in a group, and it's like no matter what I post, she's always like throwing in like all of these comments. And at first, it kind of like knocked me off a little bit. I was like, why is she doing this? And I could feel my energy drop. And now I've gotten to the place where I know that, and hopefully this will resonate with you, but she's helping me keep my balance, keeping my energy balanced. She's actually, by her coming in and just completely dropping something totally opposite. Like she always puts something totally opposite, or she wants to argue with me in some kind of way. And sometimes she'll even call me some kind of name or label or something like that. And it kind of did sidetrack me for a little bit. I was like, why is she doing this? But then I thought, okay, I'm asking myself the wrong question. It's not from her perspective. It's like, what is she teaching me through this? So that's the thing, that in all of these cards, when we're putting them, we're trying these on to see how they fit in our own life. Like in every single thing that's happening to us, we need to ask the question, like, what do I need to be aware of? Why am I letting this person affect my energy? Yesterday I pulled a card, and I was talking to a guy here from Ohio, and we were talking about the power of words. And you know, anybody can say anything to us, and of course naturally, you know, some words really are heavy, and some words can really be hurtful. But the thing is that if we're present enough, then we always have the power to keep separate. We don't have to absorb whatever energy somebody's giving us with their words. You know, when someone is speaking a word to us, we can say, no, that's your energy. That's not my energy. We don't have to take it into heart. So Rachel says, trust, surrender, and observation. We'll be moving country soon. Oh. Yeah, and actually it's so funny that you're here, Rachel, because I literally, and I know we've been playing like back and forth messaging tag, but it's like I kind of have the feeling like you're doing something, I'm doing something, but I'm always keeping you there. You're always there, and I'm always sending you good energy, so hopefully you can feel it. But yeah, I definitely have the feeling that you're definitely going through a transition right now. So you know what they say, there's no coincidences. So I can see how this reading is resonating with you, because everything here is about transition. Okay, so let me see if there's another angle. If there's somebody else that listens to this now or in the replay, the Seven of Wands. You know, you could be, you're just overwhelmed with life. Like, you know, from the broadest perspective, you're overwhelmed with things. You feel like maybe things are just coming all at once. And so these are all things to play with, to sit with, to consider. All right. So now I'm going to pull one more card, and then I think I'll wrap it up. So today's energy is all about transition, and we're talking about all different, I've pulled 2 cards already after the Six of Swords. And to take a deeper dive, Rachel's the brave one that's introducing herself. But feel free, like if you're listening, I would love to know where you're joining from. If you have any question, any general comments, questions, concerns. Okay, so now we have the Knight of Swords. You're going to take a look at that. Okay, so it's kind of contrasting the earlier card that I pulled, the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles has to do with, like, in the beginning, um, when you're setting out on a journey, a mission, something, when you're transitioning into that new aspect, to just take consistent steps forward. So in contrast to that, and you can see it here, here's another knight, and this is the One of Swords. So this person is on their path. They know their mission. They're starting out in the beginning too, but it is one of just jumping right in. Like, you're being assertive. You are just, you know, when I think about this, it's like you're very passionate. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you feel so passionate, and there's something there. You know, okay, I'm going to be successful in this. I have got to do this. So this one is just saying, you know, like, don't have any fear. Just jump right in. This isn't the one that has that's getting rid of so much baggage. It's more of, there's only one question. When people are watching you, they may think you're just crazy, because it may look like you don't have any solid plan, like this earlier, the Knight of Pentacles, the one who's just taking everything very conservatively, you know, very practically, like that. This is like, I'm jumping right in. I'm gonna go for it. Like, so you can explore this. Like, which one are you? Which one are you in your life? Are you the one that you need to take slow, methodical, consistent action? Or are you more the type that's just, it's kind of, you know, you feel like you've got everything, you just need to go for it. Just need to go for it. The only thing that you want to consider is if you are more of the person that has just a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion, a lot of drive. You have this, you know, more adventurous spirit, and you're impulsive. The one thing that you may want to think about on the opposite end is, sometimes these people can also get frustrated, especially if there's a delay, something like that. And in the haste, or in the rush to do, you have scattered, your energy is scattered. So if you are definitely the one that just jumps in, you know, you want to also have something that's going to ground you, like something that's going to pull you through. Stay really connected with that passion. It also requires a lot of connection with yourself, knowing yourself, being comfortable, taking the risk. You know, when you really think about it, there's all these things that we imagine in our minds that hold us back, things that we're afraid of. But at the end of the day, there's really, you know, we have to remember, this is illusion. You know, we're playing in Maya. Everything is a divine play. So exactly what exactly is at risk? And that's something I didn't mention earlier when we were talking here. But sometimes when we're overcoming our fear, it's reminding yourself, like, what really is at risk? Is it really that dangerous? in the bigger picture, yes, there's a risk, but really what's at stake here? Maybe you are, being held down by something you just created in your own mind. So we definitely have some interesting things, interesting energy with this whole concept of transition, how it looks in the big picture and collectively, how's it manifesting in your life? Because like I said in the beginning, depending on where you are in the world, it's manifesting a little differently, but it's all showing up in the divides in our search for truth. Like my truth may not be your truth, but can you stay firmly rooted in your own truth? Can you speak your truth in love? Can you take action? Do you have the freedom? Do you have the freedom to be yourself? Do you have the freedom to be able to exercise your gifts, your talents? Do you feel like, earlier this week in one of my groups, we were talking about success. And I think this fits in with what we're talking about today in transition. We all live a life and we all want to have a successful life. But when you really consider success, what does it mean to be successful to you? And I've already said that, to me, to be successful, it's really about having the freedom. And the freedom is never given, like, in the U.S. we're really proud because we think our country is very free. But at the end of the day, freedom is your birthright. Like, it's nothing that your country gives to you. It's something you realize within yourself. So for me, success is the realization that you are free to move and to create the life that you imagine for yourself. And a lot of times we attach success with an end result. Like, okay, I'm going to be successful when I have $3 million, or I'm going to be successful when I have this house, or I'm going to be successful when I have this job, or I'm going to be successful when. It could be anything. But for me, success is in the every moment that you feel this freedom, that you are able to let go of some of these heavy thoughts, these feelings, these fears. So to me, that is really the true success in life, because many times when we're chasing something outside, and I'm not saying don't enjoy the material world, because that's also part of life. That's also part of blessings, money, all of that. It's all blessing. Whatever you have is a blessing. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't attach so much of your feeling of success to what's happening on the outside, because I think the success is feeling that lightness, feeling that freedom, connecting with the creative spirit in yourself to be able to develop your unique gifts and talents. And as we're talking about today, these and we're seeing all these different aspects in the cards of transitioning. I think that would really help a lot of us to keep in mind, is that we want to be free in the moment. Most of all, we want to feel free to make our own choice, to be able to move forward in the way that's going to be best for us. And that we do feel tuned in to our own guidance. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and thank you for listening today. And for those that are listening on the replay, I would love to know your thoughts. And so the intention is to be on this time because it's 8 o'clock in the morning here in India, 8 to 9. So it'll be 8 to 9. And I'm not sure, Rachel, the time for you, but the plan is to be on here at this time in the morning, which is perfect for me because I incorporate this into my daily routine. So I'm always doing these energy readings for myself, and a lot of times I have people that just call me wanting some kind of tarot reading. So this is an easy way to connect all of us and to take a look at the cards, to develop our own intuition and what that means for us individually, and to just be aware of what's happening collectively, what we're creating, this new world that we're coming into. I think it really helps us all a lot. So until next time, sending you all love and blessings in this day and every day.